be talking with Andymore Saunders, a young man who, we go back a couple of good years, huh? And Kijana Rolle. Now, first of all, let's say good morning to you both. How are you?
We're fine.
We're fine, thank you.
Great, great, great. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself, Kijana. How long have you been with this government department?
I have been at the Department of Inland Revenue since July of 2015, and but I've been in the real property tax section a little over a year.
And Andy, you've been there for
I've been there.
years.
Yeah, I've been there quite a while myself. Well, probably on my two stanches, some 20 plus years. I'm basically do the assessments, responsible for valuations for real property taxes.
Now, it's interesting. I mean, very rarely do you see this element of government service doing a lot of PR, but you have been doing a lot of PR. And Kijana, why is that that you feel it's necessary to get out there and talk to the public?
Well, we want our public to be aware of the things that we are doing. We want them to be aware of their responsibilities as taxpayers. So we have been out there trying to make persons aware of the services that we offer. At the Department of Inland Revenue, there are several taxes that sit under that roof, and real property tax is one of them. And most persons would have a real property tax obligation for one reason or the other. Whether your property is taxable or not taxable, it should be registered. Okay. With the Department of Inland Revenue.
Whose responsibility is it to register that? I mean, the government knows you own things. Is it on purchase automatically registered, or is it something you have to do manually?
It is something that you have to do, for lack of a better term, manually. However, a lot of the lawyers and the banks, if the sale goes through that means, they would send the paperwork on behalf of their client. However, it is still the taxpayer's responsibility to ensure, to follow up, to make sure that one, it was done, and to find out whether their property is properly classified and whether it's taxable or not.
All right. So, Andy, what part do you play in making sure that everything goes smoothly?
Well, my section area is responsible basically for the assessment, carrying out that task in which Kijana just spoke to, Ms. Rolle spoke to. That is, once the document has arrived in, we go there, do the necessary work, make sure that the system is updated with that information, and if necessary, a tax bill is prepared for that individual or that particular property. So
who determines the value of the property? Is this one of these things we can swing, or is this I saw that smile on your face, but or is this something that they tell you what your value is?
Well, the Chief Valuation Officer can set the rates for different areas. Okay. And it is, as I mentioned, rates per area. So if you live in a gated community, for example, and you would expect that your home would be valued more than $250,000. Of course, the first two, if you live in that home, which we call owner-occupied, the first $250,000 is not taxable, but the amount over that will be. However, if you live in another area, and you can choose any area you want to, your home may be valued $250,000 or less, and that in those situations, those houses are not taxable. Now, if it's owner-occupied, you get that $250,000 exemption. However, if you have more than one home in the Bahamas as a Bahamian, so your first home you live in, that's owner-occupied. Right. As a Bahamian, your second, third, and fourth home gets classified as residential, and those carry no exemptions. So it doesn't matter if that home is worth $75,000, it is taxable.
Come from Cat Island, decided, you know what, one of these days when I retire, so I go over there and I build something so I can either enjoy a vacation and or live there eventually. That's taxable?
No, actually. Family Island property for Bahamians is not taxable. So you can build your mansion in Cat Island, as you mentioned, and your mansion can cost $75,000, $75 million, whatever you want it to cost. And that property as a Bahamian at the moment, is not taxable. Yes. But if you were to build that same home in New Providence, then, we come after you for some
Now, you said you're online. What is the online address so that people who are computer savvy can kind of know what they can do, and you can walk them through those stages?
Our online site is www.propertytax.gov.bs. We have a setup. When you get there, it comes up, it has a number of steps, and it allows you to go online within an hour's time. So once you open up that website, you go on. Any difficulty you might find, you can give us a call and we'll go through it step by step with you. In terms of the grid code, which that is something that we tend to locate properties anywhere in the Bahamas with, and therefore once that is implemented, your assessment number, your name, whether or not you have a government ID. For instance, a foreigner may not have one, so you don't have to have that, whereas you are a Bahamian. You put in your NIB number, you put in your
TIN number
or anything of that nature, and then it will allow you to proceed. And once that is done, you can get on the website, register your property, pay your taxes, view your account, print your taxes.
Right, and you can do that from anywhere in the world, and so we want our taxpayers to be well aware of that.
How updated is that? And I asked it because when I thought of online banking, you can see it, but when you spent something 2 days ago, I didn't see it on my register when I went online, and I kind of wonder, are people up to date with that?
It is immediate. If I have you on the line and I'm stepping you through the online process and you're making a payment, as soon as you hit that send button, it appears on our side and you get a receipt.
May I tell you, it's better than Royal Bank?
It probably is.
I mean, I must say that. Put that on your commercial.
No, it is immediate. You will see it. You will get a response saying that you have paid the amount that you have paid, and you would get a confirmation receipt.
Good. Now let's talk for a moment about the discounts. What discounts are available to the regular Mr. and Mrs. John Doe?
The discounts at this point in time there are two. The one is if you pay before 31st of March 2018 at your 2018 tax bill, you get a 10% discount. The senior citizens also get a 50% discount up to $1 million in value. So they are the two main discounts that we have at this point in time.
And I'd want to add to that, while Mr. Saunders referred to the early discount by March 31st, that does have a deadline. And you only get 10% on the 2018 tax. However, that senior citizen discount does not have an expiry date. But we still want to encourage our senior citizens to come into the office because they must present themselves. It's almost like a little verification process for that. They must fill out a form, have proof of citizenship, because the 50% senior citizen discount is only available for Bahamians. That is an incentive for our senior citizens, and so we want them to take advantage of that. Like Mr. Saunders said, up to the first $1 million, because we do have senior citizens who live in very lavish homes.
Safe with me up to the
Yes.
All right. Tell me about penalties. Penalties are incurred as a result of what?
Well, penalties are incurred as a result of non-payment. So for those persons who did not pay their 2017 bill by December 31st of last year, January 1st, we know that was a holiday, but we're like we said, we're on the computer, so automatically 5% was added as a surcharge. Now, what we want to have persons to be aware of, it's like any bill that you pay. Your bill is one thing, a fixed amount. So your tax is a fixed amount, but this surcharge just accumulates and accumulates and accumulates. So you have someone who, unfortunately, may have never paid their real property tax. And so you would find that once they come in and they get a bill, they are stunned to see that the surcharge, or what you may call an interest or penalty, whatever you want to refer to it as, is higher than the actual tax.
I can understand that, yeah.
So we want, and that's another reason why we're really trying to get out there to let persons know you have a responsibility as a taxpayer.
What about what is the due date for your bills to be paid? Is there an appropriate date that they must pay bills by?
Well, once the bill is sent out, we expect by law that it is due and payable at that point in time. But the government is very lenient on that, and they give you basically a 12-month period in which to pay. That's why you see at the end of that particular tax year, if it isn't paid by the 31st of December, then the interest accrued.
Okay. Now, I know that if you're like everybody else, you're doing social media, right?
Yes. We have, we are on, well, we have the website. Mr. Saunders gave you the information for the portal, like if you're going to pay through the propertytax.gov.bs. We have a website, inlandrevenue.gov.bs. We're on Instagram and Facebook.
That's what I
for the younger folks.
Yeah.
So on Facebook, we are DIR Bahamas, and that's all one word. And on Instagram, we are Inland Revenue 242. We got to get that 242 in there. So we're Inland Revenue 242, again, all one word. And the website information, like I said, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs.
All right.
Inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs. But for those persons who want to pay, we have a direct portal for that. And that one is propertytax.gov.bs. Propertytax.gov.bs.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you, hopefully everybody is now better informed about this, and you're making sure that you make your rounds, let people know about it. It's real property tax matters. 2018 bills are out, and you've got online and discounts and all kinds of things. Seniors are always appreciated, and I'm
Yes.
sure that you're going to make them feel very proud. We'd like to thank Kijana Rolle, and your official title is what in the office?
Well, I'm supervisor of the real property tax section.
Oh, right. And Andy, I just call him Andy actually, but Andymore Saunders, you are an assessor.
Yes, I am the person responsibility for all the assessments basically throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Fantastic. We thank you. Now tell them, the audience, about some of the personnel you've got in here. 'Cause they want to kind of hide as if they're not here.
Okay. Well, we have our communications team with us this morning, and they're the ones who monitor our Instagram and our Facebook and our website for us. And we have Ms. Sherelle Poitier and Mr. Anton Francis, who have joined us in studio this morning.
Fantastic. Well, we'd like to thank you very much for joining us. It is Love 97, 48 minutes after the hour.